Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Boswell, and today I will be giving my persuasive speech on increased pay wages. The purpose of this speech is to persuade my audience that pay wages need to be increased because of the cost of living. In order to make it in today's society, pay rates would need to be sufficient enough in order to survive. Without a livable wage of at least $15 an hour, many families will be at risk of poverty. Many families are one step away from homelessness because not enough money is coming in, nor resources. Wages are not increasing nearly enough for the cost of living. The families who are at risk are some of the hardest working people in America. Many of these people are the backbones of our society, yet making less than $15 an hour, some even as lower than $10 an hour. Plenty of these are frontline workers with little pay. For example, if you making $10 an hour, you only making $1,600 in a month's time. And for example, an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, in Dallas, Texas is averaged about $1,200 to $1,400 a month. So single parent homes would largely be at risk because you can't afford it. There's no reason that someone who is working 40 hours a week can barely make ends meet for their families. With the cost of living on the rise and pay rates stagnant, many more families are going to be on welfare assistance or on the streets. Some companies have given raises, but not enough to match the cost of living increases. And that's according to CNBC. Many people fear the possibility of getting evicted or not knowing what to do next to make ends meet. Despite some efforts in good wages growth, in nearly 2 decades, inflation is at its highest in over 4 decades, according to CBS News. Less than a third of Americans, which is 31.9%, are making less than $15 an hour and barely able to get by day-to-day expenses. And of that number, 57% are single-parent homes, like how I said before, but this is according to OxfAmerica.org. Workers with lower pay typically are working in dangerous, hostile environments or hazardous conditions like factory workers and grocery workers, and plenty more people. Oftentimes, many of them have few or no benefits out of these employers, and should an emergency come up, they don't have the expenses to afford being able to provide for their families and being able to take care of their health. So, in conclusion, with the rate of the cost of living increasing, wages should also be increasing. There are far too many life-changing events that could happen, and most families can't afford an emergency being on such low pay wages. So I do want to thank you all for listening to my speech, my persuasive speech on increasing pay wages. And this also is an example of what workers are having to do just to be able to get some say so in having a decent living wage. So thank you all.